Guys, it is June 16th, 2023. We are live, coming from Creedmoor, North Carolina, and hopefully this is going to be a fun show. We got a big thing of Vaseline, so let's get started. How's it going, guys? Matt here with Carolina Coops. Welcome to Video Chicken. To my left is my host, Kristen Warren.
I think this one really could be a male.
Oh, we got one that's hatching? This show is for you guys. This is the bass fiber. Y'all know chickens are the gateway drug into homesteading.
We survived with only one trip to the ER.
Coyotes are everywhere.
It's about time you show up, Matt. It's a great straw.
It is time, finally, for chicken police. They defecate every 12 seconds. Is that true? Now it is officially noon because the buzzer went off.
Well, I've never counted.
Long
More
road.
Coops.
That's a good one with the cords and everything.
And more chickens.
Well, the math you do now, Daddy, is chicken math.
Calm down, Matt. Calm down.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to Video Chicken Live. Like I said earlier, it's June 16th, 2023. We are live, coming from Creedmoor, North Carolina. To my left, co-host Kristen, our chicken expert. How you doing today?
I'm great, Matthew.
You know, I was just thinking we should have, maybe it wouldn't have been appropriate. We should have had James filming earlier, the first hour of in the studio, going over some numbers. And yeah, anyways, but it was interesting.
Business.
Yes. I tell you, numbers aren't always what you think they are. And
I'll tell you what I didn't know what it was is the stuff that I chiseled off of Kristen's stool while I was standing there talking about numbers.
Oh, well, I don't know what that would have been.
Yeah.
What was it? Was it food related?
I have no idea, but I did notice she was doing something. I didn't think she was chiseling. Oh yeah, turn me down. I don't know if we're clipping there. Am I going red?
That sounded.
Yeah, see, we got to figure out to get in range because apparently I'm a loud talker. So guys, today is going to be a fun show. And I'm going to do the best I can. I already got some things stacked against me. One, and thank you, I need some sugar. I have not had this feeling in so long. And I know I'm not a diabetic, but once in a blue moon, I feel like I'm about to pass out. I shake, I get sweaty, but I crave something sweet. And as soon as I have it, it's like I'm instantly back in the game. And I haven't had it yet, but you said this is Kentucky Derby pie? Mm-hmm. What does that mean?
It's kind of a mixture of a pecan pie with bourbon and
all right. Oh,
chocolate.
Good. Bourbon. Lovely. Now I see what you're up to. So today, I am hoping to go back in time a little bit in my mind and go back to my bug guy days, my exterminator days. And the reason is we have been really getting back in our A game for social media.
Thank you, James.
Yes, James has been doing an amazing job
Thank
just
you,
getting it
Ingrid.
out
Thank you,
there,
Paul.
engaging the conversation. And there's been a lot of questions. And it's come up a lot about mites. Mites.
Yeah, there's so much talk about mites. I'm beginning to worry that I have them, and well, we'll get into that.
Oh, good. And I see
not like me personally. Like I have no feathers.
You don't have any scaly leg mites? And I see a
talk about
fully
it enough,
loaded
though.
syringe over there. I have no idea what is going on. We got a whole thing of Vaseline. I have a clue, I think, what that is for. And also, this is not a blue bottle. This is a green bottle of that. You know, we talk about this all the time. This is one of the most popular go-to products made by Elector PSP. And I personally have never used this. I have personally never used. That's going to help.
I didn't know. I was just trying to put a piece
Speaking
of
of
paper
another
behind it.
green thing,
Yeah.
is this diatomaceous earth, which I think we talked a little bit about last time, but we're going to get into this. Inside here, I think it's right there. There it is. Oh, I haven't done that.
What is it?
It's a Bellows Duster. I used to use this all the time. Here comes Non. What's going on? Oh, Non to the what is this? Is this some pee?
Oh, for your blood sugar.
Yeah.
This hasn't happened in a long time.
I noticed you were a little shaky with your pen a couple minutes ago.
I hate this.
That is so nice.
I don't miss this feeling. I used to have this feeling all the time as a kid. I didn't know what was wrong. Anyways, whatever.
We'll
Who
get
cares?
the fans to diagnose you.
No. My initials are MD. Okay, so I can. All right. So we're gonna get into some diatomaceous earth, and guys? Here's the point. And of course, if you have any questions, let us know. Today, I want to talk about mites, but I want to talk about it from an exterminator's point of view. My goal before the end of this show, I want you guys, the next time you decide to use some diatomaceous earth, the next time you decide to use some Elector PSP, to think on a professional level. And it's not complicated. It really isn't. But I'll guarantee you, a lot of you are going to go, oh, I never thought about that. And it's just what I learned in the extermination world, common sense. Now, we're going to get into that here in a little bit. What else do we got to talk about today? Oh, wow. Great. Awesome. Ingrid is over there. How you doing today, Ingrid?
Oh, I didn't know you were going to acknowledge me. I didn't know I was ready to leave. I was going to go have something to eat.
No.
So we love Ingrid.
Yes.
Do you though?
Our beloved.
Yes,
yeah, I wish you were
yes.
here every day. I don't know what I got to do to get
I
you.
don't know why. You just seem to be like so intense around me. I think I would just make you worse.
If
Oh, he's like that all the time, Ingrid.
no.
Why?
I will bet you right now for the people that have to work with me every day, and they have accused me of this. Boy, Matt, you're awfully nice on Fridays when Kristen and Ingrid are around.
Well, maybe we do have a soothing effect, perhaps.
I think it's the show. I don't think I
Yeah.
soothe Matt.
I love this show. Truth is, I don't do this show for you guys. I do it for me. No, I'm kidding. I love to just get, this is a place for me to get some things off my chest. And I love to educate.
Yes, the
and
weekly rant.
Yeah. And there's been so many great comments when I do go into the YouTube and the Instagram, this and that. So many people are so grateful for the time we spend being educational to help people to have a successful flock. Actually, we were talking a little bit about this yesterday, and we don't have our own slogan yet for VCL, but
At least we have an acronym.
If you, it's a good start. If you are a
It only took 3 years for that to come out.
if you are
If only it was obvious.
if
from
you
the
are a
beginning.
consistent viewer of VCL, you are a better off educated chicken consumer. We got to somehow put that into a good fancy phrase, right? So again, if you guys have any questions, please leave them down below. We're going to talk about mites today, and I think you guys will understand once we get into it. But if you have any other questions, coops, chickens, or maybe there's something oddball you think would be a good topic.
I noticed your ducks in your California coop out there.
Thank God.
Is that pool is that pool filled with water in there? That little kiddie pool?
I think so, or
Yeah.
Tito's. I don't know where all the Tito's went around here.
The ducks
No,
swimming.
those ducks are loving it.
They're so big.
Yeah,
They are.
Mackenzie
They grow
and
so
Jetta
fast.
they grow 1 inch to 2 inches a
That's
day.
crazy.
Yeah.
They got a ramp going up into Gus's old pool, and then they go down in there, and they're in it playing all day, and then they'll come out, and they'll dry off, and they'll start preening and eating and whatnot.
Are they free ranging or are they still just in the...
No, they're just in the Cali coop.
Okay.
Oh, they'll be picked off so fast.
Oh, someone asked about the boo-boo. It was Bruce asked about the boo-boo on your arm.
Yeah.
Look at, that happened last
it looks
week.
particularly nasty on screen.
It does. It looks particularly nasty in person, quite frankly. I noticed that it just went from it looked like a surface burn to now it's scabbing and it's gross.
Well, all I know...
For you
It's
people that
even
are watching,
shiny.
for you people that are listening to the podcast, you're lucky.
Is it really that bad? It's not green.
No.
Nan's been putting some kind of magical Chinese oil on
that's
it.
why it's shiny.
Yes, that is true. But
Okay.
look how well
I
I've been
thought
healing.
maybe it was oozing.
Is it not a good sign? I mean, to let our bodies do what it's best at, and that is to heal, right?
Yeah.
I suppose so.
So I feel this is a good sign that I'm healing really well. I went to my chiropractor this morning. Love my new chiropractor. She even said, "Wow, you're healing really, really well." So I told her
well,
that's because of the chiropractic care and some Chinese oil. Okay, let's go ahead and get started, if we may. Now, mites. What is the first thing we are always to do when dealing with a pest?
Understand
Identify.
the life. Oh.
So close. Ingrid nailed it. Identify,
she did.
identify. Now, I believe, because Ingrid is
I love a
such...
good competition.
Ingrid is such a good student of mine. She has come to class prepared and has a great overlay. I haven't seen the overlay yet, but I did ask. I said, can you please bring up some of the most common mites so we can start there and say, well, how do we identify them, Matt? How do we know what we have? Because I'm telling you, that is critical. That is critical to know, do I use Vaseline? Do I use Elector PSP? Do I use diatomaceous earth? Do I use it all? You know what I mean? And that is the point I'm going to try to get at today. And I'll be honest with you. I don't know the answer, but I know how I feel I would go about it. And that's what we're going to do in today's show. All right.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
All right. This is going to be fun.
And it may sound a little dull, but we might liven it up with some.
Some cracker munching.
Yeah, some live subjects.
What are you talking about? What did you do?
I got my. You see me come in with my purse.
Did you see the conversation you walked into?
I know, and all you get like this intense conversation, and then Kristen comes in with her purse that's chirping.
Oh, you brought a chicken.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of coming in with a chicken, boy, I'm going to share this with you guys. We need to start getting paid for this. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but we're going to use it right now. I have downloaded a new app called Picture Bird. Have you guys ever heard of Picture Bird?
Oh, cracker muncher.
Cracker Muncher's
I get
friend,
it, Cracker
and she has a friend too.
Okay.
Is that Cracker Muncher or that's her friend?
This is Cracker Muncher.
Okay. A very, very,
Her friend is
very-
not as tame.
very distinguished name for the chicken. but we love her.
All right, hold on. So you got a chicken here, a bantam of some
do.
sort. Free day trial. What? No. Have you ever used Picture? What is it called? I already forgot. Picture Bird app.
No, I have not.
So supposedly you can download this app, pay $39.99 a year, which isn't horrible when you really think about it. But you can take a picture of any bird and it'll tell you exactly what it is, including chickens.
Oh, do it.
Do it. Goes under the marketing budget.
Hey, no, don't put in my budget.
I know.
I bet the picture will load faster because the bird's perched on some Vaseline.
That's not bad. Oh, okay. Identify birds like an expert. Anyway, so we're going to try it out. I have no idea if you guys have ever used it. Picture Bird. Again, they're not paying us by any means to say anything. I just want to share. Okay, well, here we go. Tap to try enhance photo in seconds. What? No. Okay. So now, Kristen, do you know? Oh, here we go. Hey, let's see if it works.
She posed. She totally posed for that picture. That was
It
adorable.
says
put your
this
tail
is
up.
a
There we
Kristen
go.
Warren.
There we go. Try that.
Identify. Oh, here we go. So it's identifying. Now, oh my.
Wait, are you giving me the hand?
Let me know if this is true, because I don't know the name of the breed. Don't say it. Is this a Gallus domesticus, also known as a Japanese bantam?
It has the shape of a Japanese bantam. for
Kristen
sure.
Warren, our chickenista of Carolina Coops. And it's
Just almost like if she just pooped.
Do you want some more pie?
We love mixing
You want-
chicken like
Do you want some
meals
more
with.
chocolate pie?
that was a huge load.
I took care of it quickly.
That was huge.
She's probably been saving that.
It's a good thing I'm hard of smelling because I can never smell.
She probably didn't want to go in her purse.
Oh my God. Sorry, folks. The chicken just took a dump that was gigantic.
And
At least it
Well
wasn't on your
formed.
head. I mean, in the
Is
past.
this a Gallus domesticus, also known as a Japanese bantam?
I think
You
that
don't know?
scientific name is for a chicken.
Listen, is this a Japanese bantam?
No. But
What-
it
what
has
is
the
she?
shape of a Japanese bantam.
So this
It's an
app is
old-
no good. I just paid
Old English
$39.99.
game.
This is an old English game.
It's like the plant app. Sometimes you use the plant app, the plant net.
Does it
plant.net.
really matter? Maybe she's just a small black chicken and she's happy.
She is happy.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'll take a picture of something and it's like, all right, you hit the leaves and it identifies it. Another time it's like, it's poison ivy. It's like, it's not poison ivy. Not everything's poison ivy. Although even in North Carolina, almost everything is poison ivy.
Is that your favorite plant ID app?
Plant.net. It seems to be the most accurate because you can go by
No, no, no.
flower or by
It's mine.
just leaf shape and stuff.
Whoa. hey, Kristen.
She didn't get the name Cracker Muncher for nothing.
Yeah, give her a little piece of the crust.
No. I'm the one over here shaking, sweating, trying to do a live show.
I was
She might
completely
be-
This
lost.
thing's gonna crap on me.
She might be sweating underneath those feathers.
We completely lost control
so you-
because
Come
there's
here,
a little.
cracker muncher.
She keeps sliding. All right, maybe people have questions.
All right, go ahead. Let's do some
so
questions.
Joel says that you need some what is it? I can't see because I'm so blind and old. Tegaderm transparent film dressing on that arm. His boo-boo has too much inflammation on the perimeter. That's Joel's.
Because
diagnosis.
he picks it.
Jeez, non. Can't we keep some things within the family? All right.
No.
No, I'm not picking it. When it starts to fall off, I preen myself.
He's a whole picker.
I don't think it's inflamed because it's red. I don't know. What? Okay, thank you. My opinion is you let it air dry, just like a bumblefoot.
I do at night for stuff like that. Not all, because you don't want to also hit it and get stuff in it like chicken poop and such.
All right, so listen, let's get into this. All right, so mites. So you brought a chicken here.
Two chickens.
All right, so you have two chickens here.
Yeah.
You are kidding me.
The second one is not as tame.
So she's just going to fly around.
Good. All right,
And she's not going to enjoy the treatment.
Listen. Okay, it's 12:15. Let's go ahead and get into this, guys. Today, if you're just joining us, we are live June 16th, 2023. We are going to really focus on what to do if you have mites.
Can we do this preventatively? Do you have to wait until you have mites? Or should you do
good question.
a treatment just in case?
Okay, all questions will be answered at the end of the show. Okay, no. So
Ingrid's your favorite student.
Well, listen, what's the first thing we do when we have a pest?
Identify.
So let's start with that. Now, Kristen, tell me, I think there's like 3 that I can think of off the top of my head. 3 of the most common mites you're going to have with a chicken, right?
Yep.
Scaly leg,
Skelly leg,
roost, and feather.
feather mites?
It's on my presentation.
It is. All right, so Ingrid, go ahead and bring that up. I thought they were foul
No wonder
mites.
she knew all the answers.
No.
Scaly leg and roost. Roost are my favorite. Roost mites remind me of bed bugs, so they are identical to it. Okay, the Mighty Mite, how to combat mites in your chicken coop. The Exterminator edition.
That's
nice.
you met. Exterminator.
Okay.
All right, the most common mites found on chickens. Okay, you got the northern fowl mite, the red roost mite. Nice. Scaly leg. Ooh, scaly legs are fat and round.
Yeah, who knows?
Depluming mites. Would that be a feather?
Yes, that's a feather mite.
Oh, gosh. Here we go. And tropical fowl mite. I remember those. I forgot about them.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we have, you would say our top 5 most common mites we would deal with chickens. Mm-hmm. Okay. Good. Moving on. Common name, red mite, chicken mite, poultry mite, roost mite. Now, right there, we need to talk about this because here's where people start automatically making a mistake. That is what, excellent job, Ingrid. Common name. The right way to call a common name is a common name. And there are so many loose names out there that are considered common names. But right away, you can get bad information by using the wrong common name. People use wrong common names all the time. This is why I love they used to teach us by the scientific name. You can't screw that up. So found at night on birds and in cracks and crevices and nests during the daytime and summer. Oh, so this must be what I would call the roost, right there, roost mite. Also known as a red mite. See, I wouldn't call it a red mite because there's other red mites that are red.
But it looks red.
It is. But, and then chicken mite, I wouldn't call it a chicken mite because roost mite really describes
It's habitat.
its habits. Well, its habits actually, because it's going to go after the chicken, the host, while it's on its roost or on its tree branch. Okay, very good. Okay. Now, here's the other thing. It is so important to understand the life cycle.
Why is that, Matt?
Because you may be treating something when the pest is actually in a different life cycle than what the product is meant for. Big common mistake.
Also,
There's also stages in the life cycle that there's no product that'll penetrate it. But you need to understand that it's going to maybe hatch, come out in the larva, and then you need to use, if you're going to use an insecticide of some sorts, that it's there ready for them. Okay? And also, especially with mites, ticks. See, I don't remember this. This is going to bring back, this is just like ticks. To positively identify, you have to understand what's one of the things that we learn about insects. If we can go back to our...
They have 6 legs?
6 legs, right? So, seed ticks. How many ticks, actually, how many legs does an adult tick have?
I don't want my pie anymore.
8. Yes, I love this stuff. They have 8 legs. But in the larva stage, so I knew this about ticks. I didn't know this about mites, that they're only going to have 6 legs. Doesn't mean it's not a mite. It means it's in a younger stage. Why is it important to know that it's in a younger stage? Try to draw a line, the difference between if it's occasionally there or if you have an infestation. Once you have reproduction, they've set up home, you have an infestation. Okay?
Yeah. I also notice on plants, we get
I have an infestation.
Of?
Nan in the past 2 days has sent me pictures of her desk when she gets in the morning. I am not exaggerating. The mice, I still have yet to treat the mice.
Oh no.
Her
I'm
pages
glad you
are
think
just
it's funny.
oh boy. Her pages are just chewed up so bad she's losing notes.
Oh no.
So it's not just like droppings. It's
So-
they're like
All right,
And that
truth
really
be told,
is-
I know the magic
You're
secret
an
to get rid of
exterminator.
mice. I know.
How could
but
you let that happen?
because I am being a smart exterminator, I am being cautious, and I'm being sniper-like. That is
I
critical.
don't even have snacks in my office anymore.
That's one of the reasons why they're chewing up so much paper. Now listen, when you use an anticoagulant bait, like a second-generation anticoagulant bait, like what I love, is the best stuff for baiting mice and rats. Dogs are so sensitive to anticoagulants. You got to be so careful. I wanted to wait until I knew there was going to be a stretch of no canines in this building. So not just Gus. Gus is out at the farm. Not real happy when we leave in the morning now. But we have Lulu down here with Mackenzie. So she's going to be going back to her old home. Mackenzie's officially a resident of North Carolina. Well, almost official.
Whoa, muskrat.
Oh, God. See, I'm not allowed to talk about anything. All right, moving on.
yeah. Are we talking about mites?
You guys are
Yeah,
distracting
and
me.
you're geeking out. Let's get to the meat of the system.
I have
Yeah.
mice.
See, what Nan brought it up. Go on. 10-day life cycle. Okay, so from egg to adult, it's 10 days. That is important to remember as well. And you got egg, larva. Come on. What's that called? Proto-nymph. And
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say with the plants. A lot of times you see like a bug that like attacks your tomatoes, and it looks one way, but then when you see the nymphs, it's like you'll see a whole bunch of them. It's like, what is that? And
Yeah,
it's
so-
like it looks very different.
all right, so
That's my point.
8 legs.
point.
8 legs. So if I remember correctly, that makes a mite actually not an insect,
An arachnid.
an arachnid.
Ooh, look at me.
Yes, if I remember correctly,
You
it's
deserve
been,
a T-shirt.
it's been a
That's what
long
Mike
time.
said.
All right, moving on. This
Oh, I'm
looks
sorry.
familiar. We've done this
Yeah,
before,
that's what it
haven't we?
looks- does look
okay.
familiar.
Yeah. So are these
You
visible?
think I'm going
by
to do
the,
the work again? I mean, come on.
I
Are
was like,
these
damn,
are
she-
these visible by the naked eye, or do you
Yes.
need a microscope?
Does
or
it say what?
magnifying?
So that's a good question. And this is why I wish I had my malice book. My malice book is so good at
I thought we
identifying.
were supposed to bring that down for you.
They decided it just wasn't a good idea to go get it. I know Evan's probably listening. He's the last person I asked.
So would you be able to see these?
So size, color, number of legs. But here's the
You're not going to be able to count legs, I don't think. Not unless
Unless
with
you have
some
like
equipment.
a jeweler's loop on.
who doesn't have a microscope in their possession? No?
No.
Oh my God, I used to
Do
wear
you?
one on my neck as an exterminator.
Exactly what Ingrid
And then the
said.
secret is you
I
take
can
a.
verify that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I was that bug guy.
You can use your phone also.
Good point. You take a picture of it, zoom in. All right. Take a piece of
Good point.
tape. Take a piece of tape, and you just you know, and that way you catch them, and then get a good look at them. Okay, so mites.
So you don't have Leo here. That's what Mike is asking because you have a cat. And
No.
so Leo's not here either.
Leo is home getting huge.
Yeah.
Isn't he getting big? He's eating 4 pounds of raw meat a day at
Wow.
almost coming up to 6 months old. That is just nuts. Okay. Northern fowl mite, tropical fowl mite, bird mite. Okay. Found on vent, tail, back, neck during cooler seasons in northern states. Found on the fluffy vent. Feathers during spring and early summer in the southern states. So I've seen this. I've seen this on some people's turkeys. And they are ugly. Very visible.
They look tickish.
Yeah.
They're like that, the round, hard body looking, but that's just a close up.
Yeah, they are absolutely ugly. So this is a mite that will stay on the host. Yes?
Yeah.
And honestly, that's a way to identify is what is their activity. 4-day life cycle? They go from egg to adult in 4 days? You sure?
I don't know. I did this a while ago.
We might need to fact check that
fact
because
check.
that
Fact check
seems
somebody.
way
I-
too fast.
Well, I did fact check this when I originally did it, and I just have an edited version of my original one.
All right, chiggers are a type of mite. All right,
Oh,
68.
gross.
Oh yeah, if you guys have never had chiggers, you have no idea how lucky you are. That is a
They're
rite of
quite
passage.
memorable.
Rite of passage in the South, right?
Right.
Nope. Nope.
Late summer, tall grass.
Nope.
Avoid it.
Good thing I don't.
Well, okay, so this might be true because right here it says repeat the dusting again every 5 to 7 days. So that's going to be one of the things we're going to get into because you want to reapply to break up that life cycle. If you can kill them before they become an adult, and what happens when you become an adult? You can reproduce. So if you kill them before they become an adult, you stop them from reproducing, therefore shooting for that elimination of the infestation.
Yeah, so if it is 4 days and 10 days, that's quite a difference. So you would need to identify that mite to be able to repeat the treatment and effectively eradicate.
Absolutely. I just can't believe. So chigger is a type of mite.
Yeah, it does say something about the turkeys too when I looked it up.
Yeah.
On turkeys, it's the second in importance only to turkey chigger in the area where turkey chigger is found. So, there's some graphic photos. Don't look that up, people. It's gross. Oof.
All right.
So I have a question from Fish and Matt Ryan, our friend.
Go ahead.
How do you clean your chicken's poopy butt, especially if it gets all dried up and hard? I just did that to one of my chickens.
Okay, what'd you do?
I have a pet cutting scissor, and I use that. One of them they're not as friendly as some of the other ones are. So I did it at night when she was on the roost, and I just kind of went in there, and that was my Brahma, so she had a really big fluffy butt, but I just kept looking in there and just cutting it. So I just cut it out, and then their feathers will grow back when they molt and stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I do. But just be careful that you're not getting too close to the skin. You know, you don't want to pull the skin. If it is, to me, when I find it like really close to their vent and it's like caked on there, you can also just kind of dunk their this is fun. Dunk their little butts in like a Epsom salt type of thing, and I take like a rubbered glove and I kind of work it, and it's a lovely little process. But I've done
little project for a Friday night.
Yeah, it's nice. Well, that I do during the day because I have to give them, so I want it nice and warm and stuff like that. So that's what I would do, Matt. Or sometimes you can just wait till they molt. But if it's like a big poopy thing, I try to cut it off.
So one of the things I wanted to make sure we mentioned about the mites is, and I forgot to mention this is so important. It's a key part of identifying an insect. Is a lot of times has to do with looking at its mouth part, which I know most people are not going to have a microscope, but it is critical if you know you have a roost mite, what type of mouth part it has, and or a type of mite that is going to stay on the host. Okay, and I would like to confirm the follow mite that has a chewing mouth part, right?
Looks like it.
It does look like it. I need to confirm because that is also very interesting because when an insect has a chewing mouth part, like cockroaches, ants have a chewing mouth part, a lot of times you want to use an insecticide that is formulated to be very non-repellent, which means they're going to land on it, not know it's there. So they're going to really get it on their body. Pests that have a chewing mouth part do a lot of grooming. And that's how they're going to ingest the insecticide. There are times that people may, and here's a textbook example, they're going to use a liquid type formulation like Elector PSP and potentially think you're going to get a residual effect with a roost mite that is a piercing, sucking mouth part.
We have a comment that Elector PSP has a residual effect and does not require reapplication one and done.
Yeah, that is correct. There's a residual effect.
Oh, okay.
But
and
that's
there's
what
no egg withdrawal on that either.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting to.
Kristen
now,
needs to be turned up.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. So it is so important to understand the residual effect. And here's what I was trying to get at today. Let's say, and we need to look this up. What is PSP? Every time you look up an insecticide, there's going to be a couple letters after it. The couple letters after
Spinosad.
That's the active ingredient. Is that what the S is? Not for soluble?
I don't know.
Because it wouldn't make sense as soluble. Because a lot of times when you have an S in it, it means soluble, and it's oh God. Can you put a diaper on your chicken? Or a wettable powder. Here's the point. If you apply this on a surface that's very porous, the product and the active ingredient that needs to do the job to kill is going to get into the surface, and the target pest is most likely not into the material. Okay, it might be in a crack and crevice, but that's completely different. So there could be times the Electro PSP is not ideal for prevention with residual use for a type of insect that has a piercing, sucking mouthpart, especially if it's a porous surface, which is the point I'm trying to make with this stuff. I can tell you as an exterminator, we love our dust. And the reason is the residual effect is unbelievable. You don't have to wait for an insect to groom themselves and die because this acts quickly on the outside as a desiccant. And it's also very repellent, so this also can be used as a prevention, especially in cracks and crevices.
So it says that Elector PSP kills both adults and larvae.
And that would make sense because there's not a big difference between the larva stage and the adult stage. The eggs, a lot of times eggs or other insects that have a complete metamorphosis, egg, larva, pupa, adult, in that pupa stage, like with fleas, you cannot get a product other than fumigation, which is a whole nother story. And fumigation is different than fogging. However, you can't kill that pupa stage. So you got to have residual and expect to see the adults emerge. What, is this driving you nuts?
What?
We talked about this yesterday, and I could tell you weren't too thrilled about it.
No, I'm very excited.
Yeah, you're such a fibber. Okay, so fowl mites, feather mite. Was that one of the common names? This is a mite that you're going to see on the host, on the chicken. Not necessarily on the coop, hiding in cracks and crevices, right?
Right.
Perfect. All right. Well, let's move on.
So I think the next one is that's the Skelly Leg one, which I'm treating one now, and I have to do. That's the thing that you do it like in 2 weeks because of their life cycle.
Life cycle, 2 week life. Yeah, break up that life cycle. You may be applying something and thinking, oh, this stuff sucks. It may not that it sucks because you see them again. You got to make sure whatever it is you're applying is going to break up that life cycle, or you got to understand there is going to be.
I brought a bantam with scaly leg mite.
You sure did.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So we can do a treatment.
You want to do a treatment right now?
Would you like to massage her legs with Vaseline?
Oh, you gotta get in there. You gotta get all around the legs and underneath and in between the toes.
Okay, fun fact. Out of all the things that chickens get, I don't know why scaly leg grosses me out.
Really? The mites that you're looking under a microscope are fine?
No. That's a bad, no golden bell
I'll
for you.
second that.
Hold on.
right.
So what are we going to do here?
I'm going to slather her down.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not as tame as Cracker Muncher. And she might be a little irritated because
So do you want me to hold her? Hold on. Let's bring up the big screen so people can see this.
Either.
So you're going to show us how to treat properly for
Would
scaly.
you like to do the massaging or the holding?
No, I will do the holding.
Okay.
Okay.
Important to hold their wings because they will flap.
All right.
Thank you, Ingrid. Okay, holding wings.
All right.
Legs are dangling.
I don't. I put on so much thicker than that. I
Okay.
glop that
I'm
crap
gonna go right in on the Vaseline because this is a designated chicken.
Okay.
And what you also want to do is you kind of want to work it underneath the lifted scales.
Really?
So, yeah. So if there's scales that are lifted up, sometimes you want to.
She's just messing with me right now.
Yeah.
No,
Lifted scales.
And I washed her feet before I came.
You know what
in.
the problem is? Again, when I was an exterminator, I had to do a lot of assisted living, old people's homes. I saw a lot of old people feet. Oh my God. You will not believe what our feet look like when we get old. Okay, so you're applying Vaseline.
Yeah.
You're getting it
You get
up underneath this, in between the toes.
The best shows are when we get
Because you
get
want it-
Matt to dry heave.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that?
That's
Okay, so
always
why
a
Vaseline?
success.
And I'm gonna
It
treat.
smothers them.
It
Yeah.
smothers what? The chicken?
The mite.
Thank you.
The
So we're
scaly leg
smothering the mites. Define smothering.
It can't breathe.
That's
with
right.
all
We're
that-
suffocating
we're suffocating.
Okay.
the adult mite. Now,
and I will treat Cracker Munchers.
where do the where do the eggs exist when
Gets under the scale.
gets under the scales?
Yeah.
Do the scaly leg mites ever leave the host?
I don't see why they would.
No.
But eventually they got to end up on another chicken.
Yes.
But the point is, eggs have been designed to be very protective of whatever's growing on the inside. So let me ask you this. Is this the go-to end-all be-all for scaly leg mites?
You can also use ivermectin,
Ivermectin.
How about both?
and I've used both.
Yes, I have
So
a drop of ivermectin for her as well.
Okay, ivermectin to treat internally like a systemic or right on the
Right.
legs?
No, you give it internally, and
Yeah.
it
Yes,
deals
what I
with the
thought.
mites.
Right, because the mites are feeding on something. What are they feeding on?
Scaly
The dead scales,
the
right?
scales. Yeah.
So they're
This
gonna.
is getting gross.
This is so gross. So they're ingesting.
All right, here is a 1 drop of ivermectin.
How do you do it? You put it on your leg mites. I've used just the Vaseline, and with the sometimes you want to apply it. If I've done it like 2 nights, I do it at night when they're
Yeah.
quiet, and I do it sometimes 2 nights in a row, just in case I missed a spot or something, and then I'll retreat again in 2 weeks.
All right. So thank you. We are at 102. And people listening right now, we are live June 16th, 2023. Today, we are really focusing on mites. If you have any questions at all, as you know, leave them in the comment section. So we just got done treating this chicken for scaly leg mites. We applied very liberally the Vaseline.
Yes.
Got it up in there.
Okay. And will the scales lay back down?
Yep, they should. They do.
Or are they permanently damaged?
No, I mean I had my little tiny bantam. She had terrible. I felt so bad. They were
Yeah.
terrible, and you could actually brace yourself, Matt. You could actually pick apart some of the raised. It gets bad.
Yeah, I've seen one so bad that her toe fell off.
Oh, okay. I haven't had it that bad, but I've had little Midge has gotten them, and I think part of it is that she likes to sleep in the nest box because she gets. I don't know exactly why she tends to get susceptible to them, but they do. The only time that you'll see sometimes, like I have one that has the scales. On an older chicken, sometimes the scales will stay lifted, and that's okay. It doesn't even necessarily mean that they have scaly leg mites. But I've done a lot of research on this because I've dealt with scaly leg mites.
Are you here to wash my hands? What is this? It's just cleaner. Thieves?
So Tony asks, will udder butter work? Which I'm not sure.
Udder butter? That sounds like something for a cow.
Yeah, and I think it's because it's the petroleum jelly just has that like it's what's the word, Matt?
Suffocates?
Yeah, it suffocates, but it's because it's like water can't penetrate. It has a barrier, so it's like non-soluble. So I guess the same thing would be if udder butter would work like that.
Anything that's going to suffocate.
We've heard that you can use mineral oil, right?
Yeah, I just find that petroleum
is like
jelly is like the
baby-
cheapest thing that you can buy.
Well, not to mention it's really
sticks.
thick.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it really sticks.
Yeah. So, and that's why I like to, another reason why I like to do it at night. So it kind of soaks in there while they're on the roost. And instead of them getting because then they'll just like walk through the mud and then their feet will just be caked with dirt. So that's why. Uh-oh. What?
Oh my God. I'm sorry.
Oh, that is.
Is it Mike's comment? No, I don't know who you. Oh my God.
Fish and Matt Ryan. Homeless feet are the worst. I'm sorry. It's sad. It is sad. And let me tell you what. And he's a police officer. I hope he doesn't mind me sharing that. And what they have to see every day would break most people's hearts. What these guys go through to do their job. And I know a lot of police officers get such a bad rap right now. My God. What they have to see and go through to help save people's lives. Like that poor cop that just got his leg ran over to save people so they don't get ran over at that parade. Ooh. And now they're going to amputate his leg. Gosh, I'm sorry.
Just for a sports thing.
Wow.
Stupid.
Why is that stupid? They have a parade for the NBA championship?
I like Mike Trapp's comment. So Mother Kristen is smothering her chickens with love and Vaseline.
So anyways, Fish and Matt Ryan, you just earned yourself a t-shirt. I appreciate it. Boy,
Matt, you know what to do.
Yeah. This is probably his 3rd shirt. Anyway, so there's a lot of questions and comments right now. So
yeah,
let's
so
definitely...
somebody wanted to see, I'm sorry, Matt. Someone wanted to see a close-up of her feet just so people could see, or I could go back to what it looks like, Matt. Like the raised scales there.
That's exactly what it looked like. Right there at the bend, too.
Right.
Yes. The mites get underneath. Go ahead. Eat it. I'll get a piece later. Oh, jeez.
Come on.
No.
Oh, she likes the
Yeah, she's
whipped
eating.
cream.
Yeah. Imagine that. How much whipped cream do you feed your chickens every day? Go ahead. There you go. Is this the only piece you brought me?
Cute.
How'd I know?
You
All right,
can
listen.
have mine, Matt.
So, yeah, they get up underneath there, and it is clear as day. It's got to be so irritating for the chickens.
It's so easy. I would probably do it as a preventative.
I've done that. I've slathered up other ones if I just thought maybe they were going to get it.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I like
it is pretty common.
I like the word you just used, prevention. And pests is all about prevention. And I'll be honest with you, it starts with education, okay? And then making sure you know what to do to prevent. So I asked the question, do the mites always stay on the legs? Because they must have to go from chicken to chicken. They don't just magically appear. So my question is, how do scaly leg mites get on your chicken?
I think they're on the roost, probably.
Yeah, I don't know how do they get on there? That's a good
Well, maybe
question.
someone can look that up, because for me, really,
The fact that she's eating out of a Bojangles thing is just disturbing, though. So somebody asked, why don't the chickens eat the mites? Like, if chickens eat, I mean, why don't they?
don't they when they're grooming themselves?
I don't know.
So here's one thing I would like to say.
Can they reach their feet?
They can. They can reach
yeah.
their feet. They
I
can
see
reach
them
their
scratch
butt.
Sometimes I wish I could reach my butt.
That's awkward.
I'm just saying, their necks are ridiculously long.
Yeah.
Right.
Which we don't realize until there's something wrong with them.
So one thing I would like to mention, we do see this a lot, and we're going to do a video on this statement. I just want to make sure I feel good about it, and I already do. We just got to do it. A lot of times we have problems like mites and other chicken problems when we're not doing something that I think is so critical, and that is free range. They know to go take a dust bath. They know to go find material out in nature. I'm trying to have a moment here, and you're laughing. To use the dust bath as a desiccant. So you would think they are good at preening themselves and they clean themselves to get rid of the mites, but the dust bath is so important, and a lot of people overlook that if they're not free ranging. Make sure if you're not free ranging, you have your dust bath inside the run, which actually brings up again diatomaceous earth. Now, one of the other things that sparked this whole conversation is we love, I don't know if I have one in here, our rope wrap roost bars. And one of the things people are criticizing the rope wrap roost bars of is that that's an easy spot for roost mites to hide. And that's not a wrong statement, okay? We're getting crap on the green screen now.
Well, it's whipped cream. It's not crap.
But I'm going to make the argument. I'm going to make the argument that the rope wrap roost bars, because of the cracks and crevices, gives you a great crack and crevice to apply diatomaceous earth with a bellows duster as a form of prevention.
So somebody asked,
It's pretty good.
will DE, couple things. Will DE take care of every mite and bug? And will it interfere with the deep litter method?
Okay, so that is a great question. And let's go ahead and talk about that, because, again, as an exterminator, I can tell you I love a dust formulation. The reason is it's not going to penetrate into whatever surface you're applying the crack and crevice application. Now, I keep saying that word, but I tell you, what I have discovered is with this particular, and they're not paying us, they probably should be. This is Harris, since 1922.
Where'd you get that?
I'm sure Amazon. Natural product composed of ground freshwater diatomaceous earth. And what I like about this is their claim is that it's mined right here in the United States. I think it was out west, if I remember correctly. And it's just 100% pure diatomaceous earth, which will make it food grade safe. There's a lot of other dusts out there that might have DE in it, but they're going to have other ingredients in it to help it to travel, to do its job, to have really good efficacy. But because of those other maybe active or inert ingredients, make it non-food safe. My suggestion would be, if you want to play it safe, go food safe, especially that the instructions are so vague, and they pretty much label this as you're supposed to put it in the food, which can help with internal parasites, but yet they include a bellows duster. So we're going to go ahead and open this, and I hope it's not going to be what I think it is.
Well, there's a picture of it on the front.
Okay, let me explain. Yeah, you're just amused by this chicken, aren't you? I'm hoping, but I don't know how this can't be. I'm going to do it down here, because if this thing is full of dust, what you got to be careful of when dealing with a dust, don't breathe it in. It's just common sense. And that's oh yeah. Well, I'm opening up the bag. That didn't go so well. Oh, yeah, and it's just covered with dust. No, that's dumb. I don't like that. I was hoping it was going to be in a bag and I could pull the Bellows Duster out because I want to show you guys using a Bellows Duster is so incredibly smart to use because, one, you're going to save on product, and you're going to hear me say this all the time. Be sniper-like. Just broadcasting your dust everywhere. Is it going to work? Yes. I think that's overuse of the product. It is, and the instruction says you can do it, but to get to that original question, does it affect a deep litter system? I can see how the diatomaceous earth could potentially reverse the process of the deep litter system versus if you use the diatomaceous earth directly in a duster and you treat directly in those cracks and crevices where the mites want to hide, you can separate the dust from the deep litter system and also make sure that those mites are in constant contact with that dust and will eventually kill them, the ones that are there. And because dust has such a long residual life, it's a great form of prevention.
Especially inside of a building where it's not going to get rained on.
Oh my gosh, great point, Ingrid. Here's the thing to think about. Dust, when you're going to use it to dry up the outside, the exoskeleton of an insect, of a bug, it needs to be dry. And if it's wet, it's not nearly as effective. So that is a great point. And it's just like if you walk on a beach in bare feet, and if you walk on wet sand, you don't get that sand between your toes. Mm-hmm. You walk on dry sand, you get it between your toes. That's like having dry dust so that the insect gets it on them, and they're like, oh, this sucks, and they end up drying out and dying versus if it's wet. So that's actually a very good point, Ingrid. Are you going to just be amused? I got to bring you back to the show. You are just...
Well, it
She's
can
living
be
up to her name, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
She's definitely a cracker muncher.
Do you not
she's a carb addict.
Do you not feed your chicken? All right, so back to, okay, if there's any other questions, but back to the slide. I was hoping to get through that. And Ingrid's over there texting. I guess we lost Ingrid. But again, if you
she's
guys...
answering all the questions.
No,
she's like the best student today.
I am listening because I can multitask. So that's why when you said the thing about the wet and the dry. Here we go. This is the feather mite.
The feather mite. Right. Now, this is the one that I want to look. I guarantee you they have a chewing mouth part because that's going to be their way of really staying on the host. That's why they're staying on the host versus a lot of bugs that have a piercing, sucking mouth part. They only need to be on the host enough to get a blood meal, just like a mosquito, like a tick, like a flea, and like a roost mite. This one's nasty. I've seen this, especially around the vent area. And again, I would, and this is just me, I would make sure the chickens are having a dust bath with DE because the DE will definitely help. And they'll get it in there. They're doing the work for you to help dry out those mites and also will be a great form of prevention. However, I did notice Elector PSP is labeled for spraying the chicken directly. Have you ever done that?
No. I will tonight, though.
Wasn't that, I could be wrong, wasn't that what Dr. Crespo said that they could actually ingest and would kill? What was the thing that she said that?
DE.
No, it was something that they could, that would I don't remember. I thought it was something that they would take internally that would somehow dry up the bug if they take it internally.
I remember her specifically saying, because I would see people do this all the time, put diatomaceous earth.
Oh, in the food.
In the food.
Okay.
And that never made sense to me because of the statement I just made. If it gets wet, how is it actually going to work?
Right.
But if you have internal parasites, that's a completely different animal. And it was to help kill any internal parasites. And that makes sense. Internal parasites, they're not going to be like the pests, like the bugs and the arachnids and whatnot that we see on the outside.
So Ashley asks, they watched the first Saturday Lime show and said, would something like that be a good preventative for mites, or will it not really deter them? I guess it would depend on where the mites come from. I think it would.
I think it would help.
I've actually taken both DE or first Saturday Lime and done like in our nest boxes, like with a drop down, just did a little bit of line right through there, just in case, because I was saying that like it seemed like the small chicken that sleeps in the nest box was getting skelly leg mites a lot. So just in case.
So if I remember correctly, Saturday Lime was a highly citric acid type material.
Right. And it doesn't dissolve when it gets wet the way other
It's non-soluble. That's right. She
Right.
kept saying this. That's important to know. Again, this is what I'm trying to get at. Is think about these things so you can make a smart decision, not waste your time, not waste your money. And boy, I forgot about that show already. I'm trying to.
It was like 3 weeks ago.
I know. And no, it wasn't. 3 weeks ago, someone wanted to go spend their entire summer in Europe, so we had a hiatus for 3 months. Thank you.
2 weeks.
What is a Bellows Duster? Okay, you know what?
You want me to get it? Because my hands are already sticky with Vaseline.
Yeah.
Listen, folks, one of the things that we were going to do today, and we still can. Oh, I forgot to mention something. I didn't tell anybody because I knew if I told someone, you guys would be like, no, don't do it. So everyone that's watching right now, are we coming through a little bit clearer? Do we look a little bit better?
Oh, did you up the
1080p,
pixels?
baby. Oh, yeah. Okay, you don't want to breathe this in. See, you don't shake it. God, you're just like
shook
the
it
people
off.
I had to train. You shake it. Look at how airborne this is now. Now you're breathing.
I'm not breathing.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god.
So it's it's funny when you mentioned it last week. Chris and I both had the image of like a fireplace, old school, like British mansion bellows duster that you would stoke a fire with. It's got that like kind of accordion type of thing. This is the exterminator version.
So one of the things I was hoping to do, and we still can, and I see a fruit fly flying around.
Get it.
Suicide
And I'm wondering
mission.
what I was exactly what I was hoping to do is get some. This is so illegal. Non-target labeled pests and put it on them and see if it works the same. Because
Where are we going to find one of those?
well, we just had a fruit fly flying around. Okay, so this is what I thought. There is a bellows duster. Now, it's not assembled yet, and it is wrapped in plastic. That makes a lot of sense. I am going to... Can I have an assistant come in and take this bellows duster from me, and just go run it underwater? It's completely fine. That'll keep it from going airborne. And then open it up and then bring it back to me. And we're going to assemble this. I really want to show this to people because there's a couple things I want to... share some tips and tricks.
You're really excited about this, aren't you?
Is it wrong? I'm trying to get you guys as excited. And you're like, oh god, another bug show. I hope you guys are excited out there because this is stuff that it's so simple, but a lot of people don't know this.
I love food safety. I've been putting it in dust baths for my chickens for 7 years now.
Right, so obviously, don't breathe it in. Not this.
Don't lick it.
Licking it would technically be safer.
Then breathing it in.
Yeah, than breathing it in.
So,
all right.
So Jason asked, which came first, the mite or the chicken? The answer: the mites spawned from the chicken's body themselves to deal with an actual problem like poisons or toxins irritating or inflaming their tissues. So, I know with, for instance, like when dogs get what's the no.
What would we do without Ingrid?
No,
I don't know.
Do you know, folks? I just want you to know Ingrid has made comments that we don't need her during this show.
You don't need me for a lot of this business, but you think you.
I guarantee you, everyone right now is like, "Oh my God, no! This
Wouldn't
show
be a show without Ingrid."
Exactly. So go ahead, Ingrid.
What is it with the dogs? They get the like a lot of times puppies get it and they lose like big patches of their fur. Mange. So the thing with mange is that it's like there are parasites or mites or whatever that occur naturally on all of us, right? So when a dog, in the case I'm using a dog because I don't know about with chickens, but I imagine it might be the same, that when a dog is their immune system is compromised because they're not healthy, they were stray, they were like in garbage, whatever it is. You see it a lot in the rescue world. It becomes their body can't fight and they get like an imbalance, and that's what causes this imbalance of mites on this dog, and then they get mange.
Absolutely. The same thing happens with chickens. We say this all the time. When they become stressed, when any, I think, organism becomes stressed, they're not able to do what they're meant to do, whether it's good or bad, doesn't matter. So sometimes you might want to stress out something or you don't. In the case of the chickens, absolutely. When they start to get stressed, especially being in too small of a coop, they don't have the ability to fight off a lot of things like external parasites, which is a mite falls under that. Absolutely. Another reason why it's so important. Have the right size chicken coop. Let them free range.
Yeah, and
They will be happy.
The one thing Dr. Crespo said, she noticed one when she first did a visit at my place, that one of them had some mites or lice, I forget which, by their vent. And she said, well, they are outdoor creatures. Like, they are animals that are living outside. So they are going to get, there are going to be some bugs on them. And that's, not to totally panic every time you see anything.
What does Jason Snyder mean? That's an interesting statement. Blaming the mite is like blaming the vultures for killing the zebra, or blaming perching birds on...
I think what he's saying...
on power lines for power outages.
Saying that because you're blaming the mites, but you're causing the mites by having not a healthy environment for the chickens.
Love it. Great.
Right.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Great point. Thank you. Yes.
So the vultures don't kill they're just feeding on the dead carcass. Something else killed the zebra.
The
Yeah.
vultures...
They're at the scene of the crime.
The vultures are doing you a favor.
Right.
Yes.
Just like ants. I used to piss people off all the time. I'm like, what do you mean? You got ants. Big deal. They're there. They're free cleaners. Oh, God. That was one of my favorite lines. Okay, so this is I've never used this one. This is very similar. Well, it's what I would call a Bellows Duster. Not my favorite.
Is it supposed to have like
maybe
a little
maybe we
snout
can
or
do a
something?
shameless plug and go on Amazon and say, here's the duster I would recommend. Because I tell you, the one I recommend I loved. What are you saying, Ingrid?
Yeah, it's supposed to have some kind of like tubing sticking out of there, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
Thank you, Nan, for doing that. Okay, so basically what you're going to do is you're going to fill this up with some dust. Now, I've not read the instructions. We'll see how good I do.
I was going to read the instructions.
Is it killing you? Don't fill it up all the way. You got to leave room in here for the air, because the air, the compression of the air is what's going to force the product into the crack or crevice, okay? Also, a little tip, because you don't want the dust to get cakey, is put a couple little marbles in there, even just a marble, just like a rattle can, okay? A little tiny pebble. We used to do the same thing. Always shaking it, okay?
Pro tip.
Yeah, nice. Oh, so now I'm getting somewhere all of a sudden with you.
That is a nice tip.
Thank you. Good. All right, so I just assembled it. And what you don't do is do it like this, unless you're in a hurry like I used to. Like, because what's going to happen is you're just going to blow dust out way too much. And actually, too much can be bad. You're technically only supposed to apply enough dust that you have such a light film, you can barely even see it. Technically, and again, this label is so vague, so you can pretty much just do whatever you want with this stuff and be legal. When we used to dust, legally, it can only be in a crack and crevice, and when you're done, you shouldn't be able to see it. If you see it, you use too much. What's so funny?
The chicken is freaking cute. I'm sorry. I'm distracted by a chicken.
So what I was thinking about doing, because I didn't know, and I love doing things live on a show because I have no idea what's going to happen. I was going to fill this up with some diatomaceous earth and see what happens when we apply it to our rope wrap Roost bars. Because I will guarantee you, if you do it correctly, you now have a Roost bar that will prevent roost mites.
That is a good point.
Thank you.
I also want to, so people are asking about using DE with the deep litter, and we don't recommend like mixing it in with the hemp and the deep litter.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to. That's
No.
not what it's there for. Use the DE for what it's intended to, and that is to allow the chicken to not have any external pests.
Right. And you can even put DE on it. I've dusted a chicken with it. I mean, just been real
Yeah, just like
careful.
flea powder.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I've been real careful to not get in their eyes or anything in their face, but I have if I've thought that they've had like an infestation of any kind. And someone asked about using it for the if you use it with deep litter, will it be okay in the garden? And as long as it's food safe, it should be fine. Like I said, I use it in the dust bath.
Just don't breathe it in.
Yeah.
Even though the chickens, when they take a dust bath, they're breathing in. We always preach how sensitive their respiratory systems are, but in order for them to clean themselves, they're breathing in dust. I think they know what's good and bad for them. So this is what we would call a Bellows Duster. I can see this working really well. It's very big. That's going to really get tiring after a while, but it's not like you're doing it all day like we used to. There is a duster that maybe later today I'll bring it up because I could see people going, oh, you know what? I would prefer to have that type of duster. But the idea is get into the cracks and crevices, use this to treat it. There's no reason at all that I can think of to use DE in the deep litter system. If you are seeing a type of pest, which is usually going to be a fly, Did that video go public that we did, James, where we had at our display coop out here? I
Yeah,
can't remember if
I
you
saw it.
were you here for that or
Was
was
that-
Mackenzie?
Kenzie.
So it was loaded with flies. And I was like, what a great time to get a video because we get asked all the time, Matt, when do I add carbon? When do I add industrial hemp to my deep litter system? And I always tell people, I'm like, man, I wish I had scratch and sniff video. But I was like, listen, flies are not going to lie to you. If there's flies all over your deep litter system, it's because it smells, which is attracting the fly. And the fly is technically there to continue its life, to reproduce, because that's what when it hatches into larvae is what it needs. That is going to be a pest, okay? And we did a layer of hemp, and they were gone within a minute or two later. So that I wouldn't say add diatomaceous earth to prevent flies or some of these other things you might see in your deep litter system. I would say just add your carbon. Ingrid is awfully distracted over there with her phone. This is not like her. What's going on over there, Ingrid?
I'm very popular. I have to tell you.
I believe it. Now, the label on that Elector PSP says that it could be used for flies.
Okay, so I did print this out. Who knows when you say label, what does that mean? What's the first word that's supposed to pop in your head?
Sticker?
Another L word.
Liability.
Law. Close. Law.
Oh.
Yep. When you're an exterminator, you are taught labels the law, labels the law, labels the law. You had to keep your label book at an arm reach lengths away at all times when you're in your service vehicle. Anyways, this label, when you want to be smart and careful for your own safety, for the safety of your animals, and then again, don't waste your time, don't waste the product. And that's the thing I hate about insecticides now, because that's what I saw in the industry. It is so abused. Spray and pray, get it everywhere. Horrible. Be smart about it. Now, this blew my mind when you guys told me how much this little thing of Elector PSP is.
Yeah, it's very expensive.
How much?
It's over $100.
Yeah, I've seen it as high as 177 on some websites. It's very expensive.
So we have 8 ounces. 8 ounces for over $100. Now, I'll bet you then, if we read the label, this probably goes a long ways. This is going to be a concentrate. Mm-hmm. And not a good one. We used to squeeze it. We get this little pour cup. We get exactly what we want. Not the case here. So very important, because some people aren't going to do this. They're not going to dilute it. Dilute it. Save yourself the money. Also, more isn't always better. More can actually make things worse. Because the idea is if you have a current infestation, you don't want the product so what we used to call hot. You don't want it so hot that you immediately repel the target pest so they go elsewhere. Now you got to wait for them to reappear and start all over. And a lot of times they spread up. Now you have more of a problem, especially like with bed bugs. You actually want it so they're going to sit on it long enough to take it in dermally. If they have a chewing mouth part, take it in where they groom. But you can definitely directly apply it. And I've seen some situations where people have mites in their coop. It is disgusting, but spray them directly and they should die fairly quickly. But $100, I'm surprised.
I think it was like 150
Yeah,
plus
it's
shipping.
more than 100. Yeah, it's expensive.
Right. So, and Kristen, you were mentioning, yeah, it's labeled for darkling beetles. I don't remember what those are. Hide beetles. You would see that a lot on, if I remember correctly, dead animals, where they're actually feeding on the hide. Larder beetles would do that. You ever seen larder beetles? House flies. Musca domestica. Check me. House fly. Adults and larvae. Stable flies. Little house fly. In and around agricultural and animal premises. So this can be, yeah, you're exactly right. You can label or use it diluted and apply to where you're going to see flies land.
Yeah, I think one of the P is for premise, possibly.
Well, the active ingredient is
spinosad, which is an organic insecticide, I guess. It's
yeah, and it's 44% right now.
that's what I use if I have to like deal with a pest on my garden.
I really want to call Elanco and ask them what PSP means, because PSP tells you exactly what the formulation should be, and then immediately you know when to use it, when not to use it. Is it going to leave a film that you're going to see? There's times we had to know, like, there's a lot of insecticides that's a wettable powder. Mm-hmm. And boy, you spray that on a dark surface. Next thing you know, the customer comes home and then you see this light film of powder all over the home. They're not happy. But wettable powders are an amazing product.
We have some more questions.
Yes, fire away while I'm waiting. Get the questions
So
up.
Alicia asks, and this is a different topic, but still a Matt topic.
Okay, fine.
Off topic, but is there a reason to have the egg hutch on the outside of the hen house, or is it just an aesthetic? I've seen you do both inside and outside, and we're leaning towards the inside.
Put it on the outside.
Yes.
The reason is, if you are designing a chicken coop, you should start to come across what I always say, there is a domino effect. And there's a lot of little things to think about if you really want to pull off the perfect coop functionally and aesthetically. In the beginning of Carolina Coops, I used to put all the egg boxes on the inside. I did it because I didn't know any different. It was quick. It was easy. It worked. The problem is, a lot of times when we would shut the doors, we'd hang them on the door. Because I was like, oh, yeah, pull out the door and there's the eggs. Da, da, and the chickens are jumping out. When you close it, they're almost under the roost bar. So, you know what happens at night? 50% of their defecation, unless you're on the show and it's all right here, they're crapping in the egg box.
Yeah.
That's not good. So then you'll see other times when we have done internal boxes, we will make sure it's far enough away from the roost bar. So you got to keep that in mind with size. But also you got to have that 45 or greater roof pitch on that egg box. Well, 45 degrees adds up real fast. So if you come out 12 inches, how high is your rise on that 45 degree pitch? Real quick. Come on. You guys know this.
I'm looking up what PSP stands for.
12 inches. Okay, 45. Okay, anyways. So now you got to take into account that extra 12 inches that the chickens don't need for them to lay eggs inside, but you don't want them sitting on top of the egg box because they're going to crap all over it. But if it goes up another 12 inches, well, oh crap, now my window won't work. Boy. So I have found it is so much easier. Bump the egg box out into an egg hutch. Is it more work? Yes. But I feel there are so many more advantages to taking the time to have an egg hutch. We sell them now. I love how many accessories we're selling. We're selling the windows. We're selling the egg hutches. All the things that are...
So you can build your own.
So you can build your own. And they're the tricky parts, if you will,
Right.
but they're probably one of the most important parts. Anyone can build 4 walls and make a shelter and put a roof on. That's easy. But to make the windows perfectly functional, predator-proof, to make the egg hutches fully functional and so that you encourage the chicken's instincts so they go in there and lay... Oh, can I have someone, please, whoever's listening? Ingrid, why do you look at me like that when I do this? This is big. This is breaking news. We need to play the breaking news music. Please go out to the Carolina Coop, the beautiful Carolina Coop that's on display. Grab me the prototype sample pieces. You know what they are. You know where they are. Please bring them in. I haven't shown you guys. It's grown on me. I flipped. And I think it's a go.
What?
But let's figure it out here.
In the coop outside?
Carolina Coop, go out. Emma knows what I'm talking about. Emma will know.
I just have to say,
Emma's out at lunch.
Who allows... No, it's 108. Back in your seat. Back to work. Head down. Tap, 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 tap.
look how good Cracker Muncher is. I
I
mean, she's just
know.
sitting
Go
there.
out
Such
to
a
the
good girl.
Go out to the
Enjoying
egg
the
hutch.
show.
Grab the material that's inside the egg hutch on the Carolina.
She's not phased
This side.
by
We have
Matt's excitement.
I know. I'm phased. Jennifer has a question. When adding chicks to existing hens that are just at the stage to switch to layer feed, is it okay to keep them on chick feed until all the hens can eat layer feed? Will it affect egg production?
Yes. It's
Yeah.
okay but just make sure the chick feed is non-medicated and offer oyster shell.
Yeah, oyster or eggshells, as long as they have free choice. Yep, that is usually the recommended thing to do.
Right.
I've had also both, and I've had it so my chicks couldn't get to the other feed, but that's hard.
Yeah.
AJ, you are welcome. AJ's Green Thumb, thank you for the valuable information.
Yeah, I'm glad people are getting a lot out of this because we really don't know about bugs, and then when you deal with animals, you have
and you got to remember for this show when we're just doing it off the cuff live. The point is to have a conversation, and it's real life, real time, and what I always try to help everyone with is it's one thing to know things, and it's nice when you don't know for the people that can admit that. What's important is to know where to go and use some common sense, right? Do some research.
So Darshell wants to know, how is that flat packing of a Carolina Coop coming?
That reminds me of another thing that's going on. Look at this stuff. All right,
what
bring it in. Look at this. Thank you, Nan. Ooh.
This is exciting.
Flat packing the Carolina. I don't know exactly what she means. What I do know is we have our first homestead almost finished out there.
I'll have to go look at it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it
saw
is
the video.
awesome. It is awesome.
So you got some nesting material there, Matthew.
It is some nesting material. What do we think? What's our initial thought on this right
It's
away?
great.
That looks great. I want to lie in there. That looks good.
Makes me feel a little broody.
So, what type of material do you
I
think?
definitely don't feel pretty.
What type of material do you think this is?
That's hemp fiber.
Now, how did you know?
Because there's little bits of hemp in it.
Yeah, and you've talked about it constantly.
I've talked about it, but I've never shown it.
When your middle name is hemp.
I've gotten samples from so many companies. Like, Matt, check out this. This will be great. Hemp fiber, bass fiber. This is the outside of the plant. This is repellent.
I love it.
Yeah, this is the outside. Is what they make rope out of. This is what they make clothes out of.
We're using the whole plant.
Go ahead. Break that. This stuff is so strong.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
great. I need some of that.
No, break it.
I
Give
can't.
it something.
I can't.
Isn't that something?
Let's see if Cracker Muncher likes it. Put her on there, Matt.
Oh yeah, she was getting
Well,
broody.
okay. Yeah,
before I
let's
left.
see if she goes to it. Just put some pie on it.
Yeah.
Okay, we will. Now, yes, this was just some stuff our
the
supplier
junk food
of our hemp herd sent to us.
chicken.
I don't like. What do you think about? There are some small pieces of herd. This is the absorbent part, the inside part. This is what we sell for the bedding. Mixed in with it, I don't think it's horrible.
No.
But here's the thing I've noticed about it, and it's got to be because how strong the fiber is. It's really skinny. It's really strong. It's beautiful. Isn't that nice? Look how
It looks
beautiful.
so fluffy.
And it stays fluffy.
It seems like a chicken would really, because
Yeah,
I
put
find
Cracker Muncher on it.
I really find that they tend to kick the straw or the hay out, and then they right down to the nest pad. I like that. I would definitely experiment.
What did you just call your chicken?
Cracker Muncher.
I thought you said something else. Anyways. I'm gonna go back and listen to that. 'Cause
she loves it.
It's just a natural.
No, she's like, what the hell's this? This
She's
stuff
like,
sucks.
"Where's the crust?" that I was eating? The
So,
pie
what
crust.
do you guys think?
I'll
I
take
love
some.
it. I'll take some too.
Should we? Yeah, she doesn't like it. No go. Nope, not doing it. She'd rather sit over here on a plain piece of wood next to my radio.
Because she knows where the food is.
And it is just so strong and durable. It looks great and it stays soft. I've noticed some other nesting material. It will flatten out and the chicken's got to get back in there. It's not a bad thing. Make them work. Make them maybe rebuild their nest. But for a material that is, harvested after 90 days,
Oh, she found some more food.
it's still, even though this has been around for thousands of years, it's new again into the United States.
I love it.
I don't know what the price point's going to be, but if you guys think, Matt, I would love to give it a try. I would love some guinea pigs. I'll give you a heck of a deal.
I want to try.
Just like that?
Yeah.
You
I
guys are there?
totally want to try that.
Okay, so let's get some more. Oh, no, Emma's not
I'll
here.
actually film it for you.
Well, and actually, I think our hens here are going to start laying in about a month or so. So we're going to get more. I'll be honest with you. At first, I didn't like the pieces of herd in it. But I think they did say this was just a quick something that's going on behind the scenes in the manufacturing process.
Right.
And that they're going to be able to keep getting the herd out. Can you appreciate how hard of a machine you have to invent, make, maintain, manage to separate this stuff from this stuff?
Yeah.
Isn't that
Wow.
nuts?
You
That's
got tons of volunteers on here now.
Yeah.
Well, okay, good. I'll give you a heck of a deal. I don't know the price. There's a lot I don't know. But we find out from you guys. We find out by having some people that are like, all right, Matt, just let me know. And then do we send it out in bags per nest? Do we send it out? Oh, geez. Talk about volume,
At least it
How
would
did
be-
it come? Did it come?
just like this in a bag.
Yeah, it would be lightweight for shipping.
Yeah, but you would want like 6 to 10. Like they usually sell the nest pads in 10. I don't know. But this is slightly different.
I don't know. Let's figure it out. I have been wanting to do something like this for a very long time. I've experimented with the mohair, and that was just so time consuming. If you really want something nice for your chickens, do the mohair. It's gonna be like $100 a nest pad or something. But chickens did love it. I don't know. And we can talk about the pros and cons of this stuff compared to coastal hay, straw, coconut pads, aspen pine pads.
Well, I use the aspen bedding and the coastal hay, but I'm constantly putting in the coastal hay because they'll move it around too much and stuff like that. I would love that because I bet you I wouldn't even need the pad underneath.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, have we discussed that we might be switching to all 50% rice board to 50% PVC material, getting rid of the high density? Has that been unofficially stated on Video Chicken Live? Have people
Nothing
freaking
has
out?
been official, just so you know. Everything is just in conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of great stuff coming out about this new material. We've already incorporated with duck houses. We're going to start doing it on the Carolina. This material, I know I probably talked. Oh, we had the manufacturer, Modern Mill, on one of our original shows. We should have them back on. We have started incorporating this material, and it is amazing. The problem is it is so expensive. It's even more expensive than high density.
Really?
But the point is, what was I? Oh, and when we use it inside the egg hutches, it's not slippery like the high density is. So Ingrid just made me think
that's a pro.
Yes.
Yeah,
for
so
sure.
I can tell you this rice board, you talk about a wonderful green product, 50% rice hull, 50% PVC, completely waterproof. We cannot destroy this stuff. We have tried to destroy it. It is amazing. We have learned some do's and don'ts, like what type of paint to use. You don't want to use a solid stain. Anyways.
Laura has a question.
Fire away.
Did a grow out pen in a coop to separate pullets from hens with hardware cloth. They see each other daily and share the run. Is 13 weeks okay to combine in a coop for evening roosting with the hens? 13 weeks, that's about 3 months.
Yeah, it's just a touch over 3 months. That'd be, man.
Depends on space, I think.
Space and what kind of chickens they are, or what's the kind of the current habit. Because the whole thing is make sure they're the same size.
Yeah,
but
they're almost never the same.
I've seen you do this a lot, and you're successful at it because you just let them full on free range.
Yeah,
and I think
that's why I think space is such a big issue.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we've had customers put in curtains separating.
I'd have my curtain.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just because there's so much drama, so now I have the curtain in halfway, and you'll see like 4 on one side and 4 on the other, or sometimes it's 5 and 3. But they pick their sides, and when someone gets like picked on, they'll go underneath the curtain and go to the other side, and it seems to be working.
I don't sit well.
I love it.
You are right. I can never sit in my office. I hate it. I like being out working. So Ashley asks, what do you think about the PVC roofing material? If you can expand on it, it's not coming to mind, a PVC roofing material. I know there's a lot of new materials out there. One of them is from recycled diapers. Woo. Yeah, we've experimented with it. I'm not a fan of it. PVC roofing material. Yeah. And there's a lot of new metal types of roofing coming out that it looks like asphalt shingles, but it's actually metal, which is great because metal is actually very light compared to asphalt shingles. Got a great TSR, lasts a lot longer, quicker to install.
Yeah, asphalt is not good for a lot of things.
So I guess, guys, if you want, and if you're interested in trying this out, I'm not going to say give us a call because Mackenzie's like, no. Email us. I don't know the price point, but I can just promise you it'll be.
Email me, and I'll put them aside for when we are ready to ship some out. So email me, Ingrid at carolinacoops.com, and just give me your address, and maybe we'll see if we can just do like a little packet to each.
Yeah, we got to figure it out. We got to figure it out. So pretty much as guinea pigs, my rule has always been we don't make any money off you. We got to cover our costs. That does make sense. But eventually what I try to do is just always make a win-win, especially if this material, we got to learn what the advantages are. There has to be a reason to choose this material. And compared to the other options,
it really is locking in place well. I'll tell you that.
That's what's appealing to me.
Mm-hmm. I know, I can't stop playing with it.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to kick it out like they do.
That's what I want to try.
Pine shavings, or how
point.
you know how you always tell people, you
Yeah.
have to sweep the door.
If
Don't force
you-
They
it.
kick my straw, my coastal hay all the time too.
Non-kickable nest padding material, nesting material, non-kickable nesting material. There you go. Okay, price just went up.
We gotta think of better names than rope wrap roost bar and
I
non-kickable
know,
nesting
gosh,
material.
I hate rope wrap roost bar. Saying that over and over, how many times a day I say that. I wish we had a better name for it.
Well, that's what it's called.
It's never changing because Ingrid has done a lot of work on it.
No, well, and it's just that sometimes when you call something what it is, it's better for search engine stuff.
All right, Mike Trap says unbreakable is a challenge. All right, you know what, guys? I have an idea that maybe this one will work right here. Can I have someone bring in the second phase of the interviewing process, please? Any idea?
So Ashley says they have PVC material for sale at Home Depot, and it looks like metal. So I guess that's what she's talking about.
It wouldn't be the plastic corrugated stuff.
That's poly.
Yeah.
Typically polycarbonate.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to go check it out. Here's what I can tell you about PVC. It's a great product because it lasts very long. My understanding that I've been told, PVC potentially is toxic during the manufacturing process. Thank you. Check this out. Did you ever do this? Uh-huh. What did you get?
I don't remember.
All right. So what I'm going to do real quick, we're going to see how many pounds it takes to break it. You think we can do it? You think we can tie it?
I just want to address Laura's. She had made a comment about making sure the pullets go up first so that the hens don't scare them off. I can just tell you from experience that the hens will still kick them off because some of my most docile hens go up first to try to get a spot and then they get kicked off. So that doesn't always work either. I find that the lower the totem pole, sometimes they wait to go up last.
Now, this is obviously no science experiment. I got all kinds of different size. I guess this one will work. I am just shocked how strong this is.
You're trying to do a science there.
Well, I just wanted I know how some of our YouTube chicken police, keyboard warriors, all the people that know everything, will be like, that's not a good experiment. I get it. Jeez. Here we go. How many pounds is it going to take to break?
Mike says VCL sells RWB.
Someone said rope.
Can you
What?
just, I don't know, hang on to that. I'm going to see.
Okay.
Watch my knot fail. Ready? How many pounds was that?
11.2.
11 pounds. That wasn't great. And that might have been a skimpy one. So what? But it didn't break until 11 pounds. A little piece of thread.
Yeah, a little chicken's not going to exert 11 pounds.
Jeez,
to break
yeah,
it.
see, that was a weak part. Oh, we got to do this again. I did see when I was tying, I was like, oh, that's got a little skinny there. I am curious.
All right, we got a question from Denmark, so I'm taking it.
Okay, go for it.
Question about my deep bedding. I haven't cleaned out my hen house for over a year, but it's very hot in Denmark right now. Really. And the hemp is very dusty and dry. Can I put some water in there? Well, I guess I would say that it shouldn't necessarily be dusty, but you can like mist it if you feel like it's very dry. But the dryness is what is making it work for the wet droppings.
Right.
Well, hold on now.
And I wouldn't assume that I get some phone calls about the hemp being dusty, but don't assume that it's the hemp being dusty because chicks themselves are very dusty. Their feed gets dusty. The chick's dander is very dusty, and even their droppings can dry up and be dusty.
All right, hold on. And again, we need to recap what I had to get off my chest last week. The hemp that we're getting in is less in weight, but the volume is the same, give or take. It's an organic material, depending on your fluffing skills, okay?
I have great fluffing.
There was no price difference in shipping. I was hoping there was going to be. That stayed the same. And in theory, because the hemp is coming in so dry, because we don't have that water weight, you would think it's going to be more absorbent. And I feel that just makes sense. If you read some manufacturer's instructions, they will tell you to make it absorbent the most is to add some water to kickstart it. Yeah.
I don't know if
remember
that's
that?
logical, though.
It is. Sometimes, when you put some water on something and, okay, right now, hold on. If we took you got some water? Here we go.
Yeah.
I do. Okay, here we go. If I don't know if this is going to work. Boy, today is science.
So she's saying it's not the hemp, it's more when she moves the hemp around, which is what I noticed, Dust, if you start to rake it a little bit.
Some of that might be droppings.
Oh, what's going on? Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ingrid. Happy birthday Hold on. Yes, we can turn up.
No, it's not.
Yes,
It's
we
not
are.
even my
Yes, it is.
birthday.
Not yet, but it is Ingrid's birthday coming up. Happy birthday, Ingrid.
Let's see those cupcakes.
Yay, Ingrid. Oh, wow. It is 1:25, right on schedule.
Thank
This
you.
is what happens when you don't come to work on your birthday. You get made a spectacle of on national YouTube TV.
Oh, yeah,
That's
it's just
right.
a few days early.
So happy birthday, Ingrid. 23, 24,
Yeah, okay. Okay.
27.
30, flirty, and thriving.
Thank you. Okay.
All right, back to work. All right, no, that's
Happy
awesome.
birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Ingrid.
Yeah,
And I might actually wash my hands before I have a cupcake.
There's a bucket of soapy warm water.
Okay, hold on. We're going to do this one more time.
you.
Now we got some real good, strong fiber. Oh, the knot is slipping. Here we go. 23. Gah! 27. Huh?
And it still didn't
It,
break.
it didn't break.
It is pretty strong. Wow.
That is nuts. Okay, and all I got is a little piece of fiber, but it's consistent. You ready? Hold on.
Don't get hurt.
Ah,
Oh, I didn't see what the
God, that
reading
hurt.
was. Does it log it?
21.
Wow.
Anyways, that's pretty strong stuff. Okay,
That's
the
strong.
point is, if we put some water on here, it might bead at first
Yes.
until it kind of goes into the wood. And then once it goes into the wood, if you add some more water, it's going to go in immediately. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So should I would just say, I mean, she can mist it if she feels like it's super dry, but I
Yes.
wouldn't go crazy on it.
Don't
I mean,
make it so wet that you cause other problems.
yeah, because you don't want too much moisture in there.
Okay, beading, right? So not very absorbent. Okay,
What are you showing that on?
I'm
On the wood?
I'm not sure if you guys can see it. See, it's beading.
Yes.
Huh? Not very absorbent. Now, if we
Rub it in.
rub it in, okay, we're gonna rub it in, rubbing it in, rubbing water into the wood. Okay, Give it a second. This is Doug for the same lumber we use for the coops. Now, if I take water and put it on there, especially if it's been there for a little bit, like you misted the hemp, in theory,
This is fascinating.
yeah, it is.
Radio.
Yes.
It's
Sorry, podcast listeners.
it helps with the absorbency. It kind of carries along. I'm sure there's a fancy.
Well, no, the chicken will drink.
I'm sure there's a
some.
fancy scientific term.
She just
for it.
had quite a meal. She's probably thirsty.
Is it because it absorbs some water, then it makes it less likely to absorb more water?
Makes it more likely to absorb some more water because it kind of bridges it. Kind of says, "Hey, there's a party here. We're already here. Come on in." More.
See, I would have thought that. Okay.
Exactly. Anyways, okay. So yeah.
Thank you for all the birthday wishes,
Yes,
everybody. That's very
yes.
sweet.
Ingrid-
It's Wednesday on the 21st, but I appreciate it.
I know. Well,
Thank
you're not going to be here, and Ingrid is born on the longest day of the year. It's
Yeah.
how it feels when she's here.
That's Is that good or bad?
What are you doing? Don't get the duster. Okay. All right.
She
Wow.
wants to give,
yeah,
she wants to give
she's
Cook-
coming
Cracker
over.
Muncher some water because she had all that.
Probably needs milk after eating my entire piece of pie.
I have pie.
She
for
just
you
had the
here.
pie crust.
So wow.
She had some whipped cream.
Thank you, Ashley. I'm
Yeah.
glad you learned a lot today. And again, the whole point is, just having a good old fashioned conversation. Speaking of good old fashioned conversation, you listened to my interview I did with Mr. Matt
It's-
Brown.
It is. It's on the website too. On our website, if you want, it's called "Just a Good Conversation." It's a podcast, and Matt Brown is the host, and he was a fan of Matt's, and he wanted to do it. So yes, thank you for the kind words that you said.
Yeah, so checked out that interview. Did you listen to it?
No.
It was
I'll
I was
listen to
on
them.
I was one of those days that I did pretty good.
Yeah, you sounded good.
Thank you.
It was actually it was a really like I was trying to pretend like I didn't know you, kind of like hearing it for the first time that I didn't know you for the past 7 years. So I tried to put my head space in there. And that headspace is gone. But anyway, but I tried, and it was really interesting. And I see why he said that you were very honest, and it was a really good interview. I think he did a great job, and I think you did a great job.
Yeah, the interview did so well because he was a great interviewer.
Yeah, he really was.
And I had so much fun talking to him. And what really kept in the back of my mind blowing me away, I'm like, my God, this guy really knows me. He did his homework.
Oh, good.
He's been following us for years.
Yeah.
And was just, you got to listen to it. If you didn't
And
listen to it yet,
You can find that on the website.
it's on the website.
It's under press. So
Okay.
under the press tab is all our appearances, or mostly
Yeah.
Matt's appearances and stuff. There's one Matt and I were on Welcome to Chickenlandia too. That's up there. Remember when we did the interview with Dahlia? So Matt and I were on that. So that's up there. And then all the other appearances that he's made on TV or whatever, what have you. What is now? You can't keep giving out
yes,
t-shirts.
I can do what I want. Man.
What is it now that you cracked up, Matt?
Oh, Christy, no. I'm guessing you guys don't have a company choir.
Oh, that's funny.
We have
thank
many
God.
things. Okay.
All right, guys. It is 1:30. Thank you so much for being
Christy,
here.
please email Ingrid at carolinacoops.com with your address and t-shirt size.
Yes, and if you want to be a guinea pig, just email
also-
Ingrid. She's
yeah.
gonna be like, God, why did I put out my email?
I know.
Yeah, let's find out. Let's find out. We want to make this a go-to product. I think it's awesome so far, but I love hearing back from the customers. You guys are the ones that give us the best information, the best ideas. We just got to figure out how to make it for everyone. So next week,
Good show.
Oh, I can't wait.
we have
Fallon Owens from the North Carolina Wildlife Commission. We're going to talk about predators, everyone's favorite subject.
Oh my gosh. Listen, guys, everyone's got predators.
I know, but you're going to hear it from...
I want a shirt. Everyone has predators, something like that.
Or coyotes are everywhere.
Yes, I love that. I love that in the promo.
I know, she's so
So
good.
is there anything particular we're going to be talking about with predators? Just predators in general?
Yeah, and about, with the rise in backyard chickens and the rise in predators, because I know like here, people are constantly seeing coyotes, and there's been black bear sightings in Raleigh as well.
Dude,
So,
right in the daytime, we had a customer.
Ethan saw an emu out back.
Really?
He swears up and down he saw a 5-foot emu out back of the
It's
shop.
possible.
And then one did say one got loose, so it was credible. But anyways, we've been getting more and more calls, people seeing coyotes during the daytime, not just in California. It's been going on.
Oh, yeah.
And there was one in the Hudson Valley, customer of ours. He had his flock out, and it was like 10 o'clock in the morning. I just called him right after it happened. A coyote just came right through and picked off a couple of his chickens right in front of him, and then kept on going.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was nuts. All right, guys. Well, we will see you next week. Have a wonderful weekend. Later.
Wait, I'm not ready with the music.
Well, you got to get ready, Ingrid. Get
I
the
had-
music going. Just press the button. I made a button shortcut for you for the music.
Did you?
Yes.
I don't even...
And-
here
You
it is.
guys should
There.
wash your hands now.
Okay, we
All right.
will.
We'll see you guys later.
Bye. See you next week.